It is 12 noon. Welcome back in. It's three-man front here on Jocks on this Wednesday. We've been keeping you posted on what's going on over the Olympics. The Americans been successful this morning. 3 medals, 1 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. We've been paying very close attention to the men's hockey as Czechoslovakia is up over Canada 3-2 with only 3.5 minutes to go in that game. That would be a huge upset. As the American hockey team, they'll play in the quarterfinals coming up at 2 o'clock against Sweden.
And you have a rooting interest in this particular matchup. So if our next guest hears you exclaim in celebration, he'll know why.
Perhaps so. Rocco Miller joins us, the bracketeer, our resident bracketologist here on Three Man Front, joins us each and every week as we kind of break things down in the world of college basketball. Rocco, I hope the week's gone well for you so far.
It's going great, fellas. We had a wild Tuesday yesterday.
Man, it's
and
crazy.
Every day, we're at this point now where every day feels like it's 48 hours instead of 24 because there's just so much that happens in one day that I have to make myself go to bed at some weird hour of the night trying to keep up. But it's phenomenal, and that's why we love it.
We ask you about teams and resumes, but I just want to ask you because you are dialed in, and especially there on the West Coast, but all of college basketball. Mick Cronin seems so miserable. He seems like such a miserable person. What does that look like as far as his tenure and maybe future at UCLA?
It's interesting, right? I mean, I think we've all been stuck on this all morning, maybe even late last night if you're me. I've been covering Mick ever since he got to the Pac-12. I mean, I've covered him at Cincinnati a little bit too, back when he had a great run there. He's just cut from a different cloth. He's kind of the old Bob Huggins, even all the way back to Bobby Knight kind of type of, doesn't put up with any lack of focus, attention to detail. His teams are known for playing hard. Some of the most physical teams I've ever seen in this sport, coached by him. The rebounding is always next level. And so when he got to UCLA, they started to build that reputation in the Pac-12. You go back to 2023, 2022, I think they had a 2-year stretch where they never lost a game in Pauley Pavilion. In fact, I think the one game they lost in a 3-year stretch was a double overtime loss to Oregon. So this adjustment to the Big Ten is really difficult for obvious reasons for the Western teams. Going on 4 long trips a year, playing 2 brutal games, especially when you do that Michigan State trip. I don't think there's anything more brutal than that. And I just think, the big picture is he just did his usual thing. I ended up watching the entire hallway interview. I think everybody's seen the clip where he snapped at the one reporter, which was totally uncalled for. I'll admit that. But he's just a no-nonsense guy. But we're now in an era where players are making millions of dollars. They're on their phones all day long. And he just can't get through to the kids the way he could even just a few years ago. And I think all of that, multiply getting their ass kicked a couple times in Michigan by both teams, it just kind of boiled over in that moment. And it's happened in a few other examples, but I think that one was just a little different because I think the kid who asked him about the Michigan State student section, it's a harmless question and completely uncalled for response. Obviously, everybody that consumes the sport is going gaga over that today. But I really think it was just Mick being Mick.
Rocco Miller joins us, the bracketeer here on Three Man Front. All right, so let's get down to the bracketology. Let's talk about the SEC here. Florida, an easy win last night against South Carolina. Nothing's changed there. We all agree that Florida, right now on paper and eyeballs, best team in the SEC currently. They're probably going to be the highest seeded team when they get the call on Selection Sunday. So let's kind of break it down from there. The hierarchy, the pecking order, according to Rocco, as we stand on this wonderful day in February 18th.
Yeah, the pecking order today, Florida, you're right. They're trending up and up and up. Another win over South Carolina yesterday. They were a projected 3 seed as we go into the weekend. We'll just see who else is willing to fall around them. Nebraska fell to Iowa last night, falling below Florida. So right now, Florida's 10th on the overall board, which is just 2 spots away from a 2 seed. So obviously, if the Gators continue to do what they're doing, they have a bunch of other good opportunities to build off of. I don't know if they can get to the 1 seed line because those 5 teams at the top, between Michigan and Duke, who play this weekend, Arizona, UConn, Houston, it's going to be really difficult for them to they're just such good teams. I just don't know if they'll lose enough for Florida to catch them. That will be the interesting part of that scenario. But as for the rest of the SEC, Vanderbilt it has been steady enough. They were terrific in non-conference that they're a 4 seed and number 15 overall on the board. Alabama's right behind them at 17 and the best of the 5 seeds. And then Arkansas, who by the way, I'm sure we'll talk about, are right behind them at number 18 on the board, another 5 seed. And Tennessee is number 20, another 5 seed. So the SEC is all consolidated in that 3 to 5 range. Then you continue on. Kentucky loses to Georgia last night, but they have a bunch of big wins. They're not in any danger of falling out of the field by any means. They did slip to a 7 seed today. And then you look at Auburn, Texas, and Georgia. That trio has, I mean, you could even throw Texas A&M in that mix. That 4-pack, right now they're all in the field, but they all have different warts. You know, Auburn's got the 11 losses. All 11 losses are to teams that are either in the field or very close. And so that makes it really tricky to analyze them. The thing about Auburn is they will play 4 games down the stretch, beginning with this Mississippi State game, where they're not playing against tournament level competition. So it'd be vital for them to at least go 3-1 in those 4. I know LSU and Oklahoma is part of that formula. And there's one other, not looking at their schedule, but that's the key for Auburn. Just there's enough baked in wins there. If they can get them, they'll be okay to make the tournament. Otherwise, they're going to take on too many losses and be left out. So interesting time for the Tigers. For Texas, they've ripped off 5 wins in a row. They probably are the safest at this point. But again, they took a lot of losses early. So one bad week could change that for the Horns. Georgia gets the big win at Kentucky. They just shot right back up, but they were in the last 4 in on Monday. So again, they're playing this back and forth game. That win at Kentucky, though, that's going to help all the way till the finish line. Obviously, that's a really nice win to have at the top of the resume. And then Texas A&M, you know, they were the talk of the town for the league in January. Well, it's changed quite a bit here in February because you take a look at the Aggies, and they've lost 4 straight. Now they get a home game with Ole Miss. They have to get right tonight. I think if they lose tonight, they might be out of the field on Friday, which is really shocking to say. But unfortunately for the Aggies as well, like some of their better wins, you know, when they beat Georgia on the road, when they beat Texas on the road, when they beat Auburn on the road, even though that was highly controversial at the time, all those teams are trending towards the bubble. So there's none of those have emerged as a signature, you know, high level win. It just looks like a bunch of bubble wins, and it's really making it so the analysis pokes holes into their body of work.
Oh, and can you imagine? And we love Bucky here from his time at Samford and getting to know him. But you remember the dissertation we got from Buzz Williams when he was at Texas A&M for them missing the tournament? Can you imagine what Bucky would say if they were left out?
Oh, we would have been hearing it. You know, the press conference about Bediako and how does the NCAA look at that? And I just think in the SEC, you play so many big games. You can take that Alabama game out of the equation. You can take the Auburn one out of the equation. Just evaluate on everything else they did, and it's pretty middle-ish, you know. So the rest of their schedule, Ole Miss at home, they go to LSU at the end of the year. They got to win those 2 games. I'm sorry, in this season, you just have to win those 2 games. They have a road Oklahoma this weekend. That's actually getting tougher. Oklahoma playing much better. They have a road Arkansas. Definitely don't expect them to win there. And then they host Texas and Kentucky. You would think they have to split those 2 at least. So that's what's left. There's only 6 to go.
Do have a question about a team not from the SEC, but it's a team we've been talking about as one of those elite in that elite grouping along with Michigan, Arizona. You have Koa Pete who goes out. How much does that affect a team like that? That is so loaded and they have so much talent throughout that roster.
I think it affects in the immediate moments. And again, we have to wait and see how long he's going to be out. We know he's missing the Houston game this week, and that's on the road. So you have to imagine that's a penciled-in loss at this point. But you think back to what Arizona achieved in the non-conference, you know, the monster win at UConn, the opening night perseverance against the national champions, Florida. I mean, those games, to me, those were Koa Pete games, you know, getting the big rebounds, taking the big shots, you know, being flawless as a freshman. That's what made his name such a big name right out of the gates on opening night and into that UConn big win. And of course, you know, they beat both teams in your state with Auburn and Alabama in December, really came into Birmingham and rolled the tide. It was a very impressive performance. And they've been steady all year. So I think it's an important injury because now Tommy Lloyd has to kind of reconfigured. You're going to have to lean on Toby Awaka a lot more, which, again, Toby's got a ton of experience. He's even heavier than Koa. But, I mean, Koa Pete's a natural-born dog. Like, he's a very talented pro-level basketball player. And I don't know if Toby Awaka is going to play in the NBA. So there's a drop-off there just in pure talent ability player for player. And then, they're deep enough. They're good enough. They're not going to slip up against teams that aren't going to be tournament-level teams. So they're going to be fine long-term. Like, they should be able to beat BYU, who also is missing a really important player in Richie Saunders the rest of the year tonight. And I think that'll help them confidence-wise. But I'm concerned if there's anything lingering about his muscle strain. They're saying he's out at least a week, but they didn't put a timetable on when he's coming back. I think that's something you got to monitor.
Rocco Miller joining us from bracketeer.org. You can also see his work on the Field of 68. They do a great job covering all of college basketball. I want to go back to Auburn for a second. They've lost 4 in a row. Got a big one on the road tonight. Are all big now this time of the year, Rocco. They're a favorite against Mississippi State. Mississippi State has struggled. And then after that, you got Kentucky, at Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, and then Bama to wrap things up. And you mentioned it just a moment ago with Landrum in regards to, take care of the business of the ones you have. But let's just play this out. If they were to lose to Kentucky and lose to Alabama, but they win against Mississippi State, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss and LSU, do you feel much more comfortable with Auburn being one of those teams from the SEC getting the call, even if they, let's say, go one and done in Nashville at the SEC basketball tournament? I mean, where's the work that they need to do to make sure that they're still in this conversation?
Your scenario is an ideal scenario.
Okay,
at this point in time, very ideal, because Auburn, at this point in time, they have the road floor to win. Nobody else has that in the bubble. Nothing close. It's an amazing road win. They also have St. John's by 11 out in Vegas. That helps a lot, too. St. John's is a 5 seed right now. And they've knocked off some good teams at home. Don't forget they beat NC State at home. Obviously, they beat Arkansas by a lot. They have a Texas win that's aging well. So right now, the name of the game for the Tigers is just wins. Like right now, you look at quadrant 1, they're 4-10. You look at the top 2 combined, they're 6-11. And even when you add the third quadrant, they're still 8-11. And it's just like, okay, great. We see that all 11 of these losses are great teams. You would say the worst team on the board is either Missouri or Texas A&M. I didn't mention Missouri. I meant to earlier. They're back in the field for me right now. Last team in. So there you go, another SEC team. But you would say one of those two is their worst loss, and they're both in the field right now. So Auburn does not have a bad loss. And if they take care of those 4, that record that I just mentioned improves by +2. Like, throw away those two home run opportunities. They lose them both in this scenario. Those 4 wins will mean more because we're really just trying to balance out their record.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you, you watch basketball. You're just not looking at stats. I mean, you're dialed in. Coaches, programs, they consult you as far as making schedules, future schedules. When you look at this Auburn team, obviously all the guys that they replaced, the talent they replaced, schedule has been tough, new head coach. But what is the most glaring weakness of this Auburn team in your eyes?
I think it's just defending shooters. I think they've been really poor in terms of allowing too many good looks defensively. And I just think some of that is organization, some of that is personnel. Overall defensively, they're in the top 100 barely, 93rd, but that's one of the bottom of the SEC defenses. And so much of that drills back into just allowing other teams to get into what they're comfortable with and without much resistance.
Yeah.
They've also really struggled at defensive rebounding. So just allowing way too many second chances. The numbers do not like Auburn there. And they've had some bad luck, giving up threes, but so much of that too is like positioning. And one of the things I like to look at is a website, CBB Analytics. You have to subscribe, but if your diehard fans know what I'm talking about and have a subscription, you can look up how many catch and shoots you allow. And that's a big stat because almost every shooter in the country or, in any level of basketball is a much higher percentage 3-point shooter when they get catch and shoots versus shooting threes off the dribble. And Auburn is allowing a high rate of catch and shoots. And that's concerning. That's concerning because obviously they play the Alabamas of the world, the really good floor spacers of the league. That's a brutal matchup for them.
In our remaining moments, Rocco, last week you felt, and again, it was last week, it can change from week to week, but you had the SEC running 11 teams making the NCAA tournament. How does that differ this week in regards to what has taken place? Are we sitting more at 10, or are we still leaning towards that 11 you mentioned last week?
It's at 11 this morning, so we can't say no to 11, right?
Okay. Hey, we're all for it. Hey, more the merrier to us. We love it.
And Missouri's literally the last team in, thanks to UCLA's loss last night. It's that close. And so it's a moving target. But 10, 11 seems to be the right number. Now, the interesting part about that is you've got those 5 teams, if you throw Missouri in there, at the edge of the cliff. You know, if Auburn loses too many games, if A&M slips off, you know, obviously Missouri is very, very on the borderline. Georgia looks a little safe for now based on last night, but they can't go out and lose 3 in a row now. And then you have Texas. They still have a lot of losses. So if Texas goes cold for 2 weeks, they could be out. So there's a chance it falls back down to 9 or 8, but enough of those teams are going to play each other down the stretch that somebody has to win. The math of the matchups really starts to help the league out as we go down the stretch. And so it comes down to like we talked about with Auburn. It's a great example, but everybody's got that situation. Like Missouri has that situation where either just win your home games or win the games against those bottom 5 teams. And the league has a really good path for 10. And then obviously 11 still possible.
I can tell you from listeners' responses in the past leading up to the tournament, your next response will dictate how some of them fill out their bracket. But we ask you every year, right now, if you're eyeing a Cinderella, one of those 12 or higher seeds, who is that team to watch in March?
There's honestly not enough of them this year because the power of the sport is so consolidated in these 4 or 5 leagues.
Feels like it is.
But I will. It is. I just have to tell it how it is. But I am optimistic that South Florida, if they were to win the American, right now they're the strongest of the 12 seeds just based on talent alone. And the league, the league spends money, right? It's not like Belmont or Liberty who have great teams, but they're, you know, passers and shooters with defensive deficiencies. Saw Liberty get killed at Oregon last year in the first round in the 5-12. So it's just really hard to put your money where your mouth is with a team like that in this environment. But South Florida's got athletes all over the field. They're freaks. They're like top 10 in the nation in dunks. I'm just more worried about their moral compass when it comes to defending. But I think their electric rating is very high. And if they are playing peak performance, South Florida could be a Sweet 16 team. So I think, winning the American tournament is not going to be easy for them. Memphis still has dudes. They could win that tournament. UAB is still very feisty. Tulsa can shoot the ball. So whoever comes out of the American, obviously, maybe that's not as big of an upset, but South Florida would be the best of the bunch there. And then if Murray State, and I'm not even positive they're going to win the Missouri Valley, but if somehow they do, same boat. They have 8 guys. I think 6 of them will be are high major players. And so they can compete with the big dogs. Problem is Murray State's not defending. But I like them as a team that wouldn't have any fear against the big boys and be able to score. That's a team that scored 115 points in regulation on Akron. An Akron team that I think's only lost like 6 games all year. So they've shown and demonstrated they can play. It really, what it comes down to, the main thing I'm getting at here is, do you have the athletes to compete? And most of the teams, honestly, right now just don't. McNeese is still very athletic, but I've been disappointed with some of their discipline. Stephen F. Austin's become the best team in that league. I love the way they play, but they're just a little too small, I think, to pull off multiple upsets in March. And so that's where we're at. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we get more than that. I like a lot of these teams. They're fun to watch. It's just the nature of the beast. It's like I got to see Illinois in person, guys. That's like one of the biggest teams I've ever seen in my life. They have like 6'10". They have like 6'10" wings just draining threes. They have 7'2", Big Z who doesn't even go inside and rebound. And then I go watch these mid-major games, and it's like these guys would be they would all be like the shortest guy on Illinois.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, wow. That's Rocco Miller. Always great information. You can follow his work, bracketeer.org or the Field of 68. Rocco, look forward to our next visit as things get ramped up to Selection Sunday. Always great to talk to you, my friend.
My pleasure, fellas. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you. Rocco joined us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, Pat, when it comes to bracketology, we certainly trust Rocco, and you just heard why. Well, when it comes to your car, your truck, or your SUV, and getting someone here locally to take care of it, and you don't have to worry about paying a big bill, inflated prices, job getting halfway done, the runaround, all of that stuff we don't want to deal with. We don't have the time to deal with it. Deal with a great company here locally. It's the Garage in Pelham. You go to thegarageandpelham.com. The owner is Bob. He's a wonderful guy. He's going to be there when you get there. You're going to see Robert. You're going to see Richie there in the showroom. But Bob, he's just a wonderful guy that gives back to the community, to local schools and charities, and just great people first and foremost. And you're going to know that when you go to the Garage in Pelham. Just check out the reviews. That's all you got to do. Check out what others like me and other folks around Metro Birmingham have done in the state of Alabama, and why they keep coming back, and why they're sending their kids, their wife, their family members to the Garage in Pelham. You go to the website, make an appointment. You can drop the car off in the morning, pick it up when it's done. Just go to thegarageandpelham.com. We got the warmer air coming in, so air conditioning checkups, hot months when they get here, you don't want it to be too late and be caught without the AC. Also, they have nationwide warranties, only factory parts when applicable. It's the Garage in Pelham, thegarageandpelham.com. Tell them Landrum from Jocks sent you.
Well, we have a final in Olympic hockey. When we come back, we'll tell you what happened in overtime between Canada and Czechoslovakia. That's next. you missed any of our interviews today, Rocco Miller, the Bracketeer, Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Brian Edwards, you can always download the Three Man Front podcast. Take us along wherever you go on the Jocks 94.5 app. And on that app, not only can you send us text messages, you can watch on YouTube link. And by the way, we hope that you would smash subscribe at the bottom of the screen and subscribe to the Jocks 94.5 page. We, of course, do some shorts, some videos. We also obviously have the broadcast each and every day. We have been watching the Olympics over in Milan, Italy, and we do have some news to report from hockey. It is now final. It was an amazing game. As Canada was down 3-2, they scored the tying goal with about 3.5 minutes left. It was a puck that had ricocheted off of someone else's stick, the handle of a stick, and went into the net to tie it. So they went to extra skating time. And in the 8-minute mark, Canada scores and wins.
Right.
So Canada will advance.
What's that about? But that sets up the matchup we want, right?
Well, the United States has a tough game today against Sweden.
Take care of your business, but then the matchup that we want, that I want anyways.
And then tomorrow we have the women's hockey gold medal between the United States and Canada. That will be right after 12 noon. So hopefully, I know Conrad won't. I know Molly will because she's very patriotic.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Especially when it comes to hockey.
Yes. Hopefully Conrad will sport some type of red, white, and blue.
We're getting it handed to us a little bit today by the Brits
in
curling.
curling.
What's going on there? I mean, the men... Did you guys just go out last night? What happened? Women, that was a good one. Yeah, the men got destroyed, 9-2.
Do have some bad news for your Braves, though.
More bad news?
Well, today, Schwelly underwent his surgery.
Oh, he's already done. I've already decided.
To remove loose bone chips in his elbow. The Braves are optimistic. They're hoping that he'll be out only 2 to 3 months, that he will pitch again this season. But pitcher Hurston Waldrop, who really showed out earlier this week, he was flashing 99-mile-per-hour fastballs, great splitter during live batting practice, and then he came in the next day and his elbow was sore. And he is now going to have the same procedure Schwelly had today.
Awesome.
Now, he was slated for AAA, but...
Man, he was so good at the tail end of the season last year when everybody else was injured.
So Waldrop will be out. Schwelly will be out.
Yeah, Ray Lopez, still a question mark. Chris Sale's like 60. He's not 60. He's closer to my age. And Sale's, he's still really good. There's just so many question marks. Strider, did we get anything close to the Strider that we were hoping to get after the lengthy absence and coming back from the surgery? Who knows? You got Kim that's going to be out at least, the first 5 weeks of the season because he dislocated his middle finger slipping on the ice back in South Korea. It's one thing after another.
Spring training at its very best.
But I feel good about the season. You know why? Because it's not last season. That was miserable.
It's okay. My star player's already calling out the front office, and it's February, so. Woohoo!
How's little Maxie doing?
He's doing well.
Good.
He's doing well. I think we can both agree that I'm happy, but I know that contract's going to get real ugly in a year or two.
He's a little snowflake. You can enjoy him.
He was good last year, thankfully.
Yeah, he's actually really good. And I'm bitter because he's not on my team. So I call him a little snowflake. Sorry, it's just I thought about Max Fried immediately when I was thinking, man, we sure could use another arm. Oh, yeah. We didn't have $700 million to pay him.
It was only like $240 million.
It was a lot. New York money, it's even more than that.
This just in, the Horizon League has suspended Green Bay men's basketball head coach Doug Gottlieb.
That was not hard to see coming. After
Now he can dedicate more time to his podcast.
He
I
was
still just
suspended
can't believe he's
one
a
game.
coach.
One game.
One game for his
Ooh, who do they play?
being critical of the officials.
You gonna go take the other side in that one?
I might.
I outside of the outburst he had the other day, I haven't been keeping up. Is his team as bad as they were last year?
No, they're 15-13.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
because
No,
they
were
were
4-28 last year.
really bad last year.
No, they're 15-13.
Okay,
Mhm.
good for
Yep.
Mr. Gottlieb.
Yep. But he has just been suspended for one game.
A lot of interesting creative text.
We will get to those texts. This is Three Man Front on a Wednesday on Jocks.
$12:34, three-man front on this Wednesday. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, and Molly. Already a busy show. Rocco Miller, our resident bracketeer, joining us this hour. Voice of the Tide, Chris Stewart, presented by Craneworks in the 11 o'clock hour. Brian Edwards, our resident Vegas insider, giving us his thoughts on tonight's basketball. He likes Auburn against Mississippi State. But you can go back and you can find that and listen in its entirety to everything that Brian just told us. All of that available at jocksfm.com and the Three Man Front podcast. A lot of text rolling in as well. 205-834-9450. Always entertaining. Some of them we can read. Some of them we can edit, clean up, filter a bit. Some of them we just can't. Going back to Auburn basketball, asking Rocco, what does he see as Auburn's deficiencies this year? This listener weighs in and says not having a guy like Denver Jones is really hurting Auburn. Yep, for sure. Denver would lock down the other team's best perimeter player. Auburn doesn't have that guy. Most games Auburn can't get near enough stops. Agree with all of that. You've been watching as well. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Great point.
David says 3 of the 4 Italian women's curling team looks like hot models just sliding rocks on ice. I'm not dialed into the Italian women's curling team.
Might have to do that.
Something on Ryan Williams and his engagement?
Yes, this is really going to ruin some people's day because it ruined my day when I read it this morning. The text says, based on what we know about Ryan Williams' now fiance, she is older than Jordan Hudson.
Yeah.
Which would be Bill Belichick's Jordan Hudson.
Ryan Williams' fiance is older than Jordan Hudson.
We're going to have to celebrate, though. I was looking it up. Jordan's got a 25th birthday coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh, yay.
So we need to have a little party.
That'd be a fun time for her.
25, that's a big year.
I can't imagine Bill Belichick's a big, throw a surprise party for his girlfriend kind of guy.
I don't know if that's where his money came from, but we saw the real estate investments that she started making after they got together and to the tune of like $10 million. Yeah. Every day's her birthday.
Yes, it is.
The question is every day Bill's birthday?
Probably so for him.
Colin says, D2 Mighty Ducks had me thinking Iceland was more of a hockey powerhouse for the longest time.
See, wouldn't it make more sense for Greenland, though? Because Greenland's the icy one.
It would.
You got to skate everywhere there, right?
Just wait.
yeah, just wait.
Coming soon, Conrad.
Yeah, I know. That in Canada, yep.
Yeah, Will was adding during the game, Pat, if this makes you feel any better, that Crosby wasn't coming back into the game for Canada.
Oh, boy.
Didn't matter. Organist, the Dodgers organist, has been employed by the Olympics.
Another win for the Dodgers.
Yeah, and somebody chiming in that they just wanted that championship sound. Go Dodgers. Well, hope you win it all.
Is that Greg texting into our show?
You have the payroll of the entire GDP of some countries.
It's deferred, Landrum.
Oh, that's right. I can't read that one. Assuming both teams keep winning, is Duke versus Michigan game Saturday for the number 1 overall seed?
It might be because, you have that. And then you also have Arizona and Houston that same day. Either one of those games could ultimately determine who your number 1 seed is going to be. That could be a Final Four preview. You never know.
Somebody chiming in, Ryan Williams' fiance said, "Cha-ching." No, we don't know that. And we don't. UAB on the road tonight against Temple. That game was a pick'em. Last I heard someone asking another road win tonight for UAB against Temple.
Temple's now a 1.5 point favorite.
It's got to be a lock, though. UAB on the road in conference play. That's their bread and butter.
This listener adding, I guess, if they were to lose, the transition to home dubs begins. Best to win them both, obviously. Joseph asks, hey, LR, have you ever been to Breckenridge or you just go to Vail? And if you do so, do you like Breckenridge or Vail better? I've been to both. I went to Breckenridge. We just went to shop and eat lunch. This year, we did not ski there. I would say Breckenridge, I like it better. Vail is it's just a lot busier. They're making money, but it's definitely the Disney World of ski resorts.
So, okay. So, see, I always thought
But
Breckenridge
both places
was like
are beautiful.
the hoity-toity, like more, I don't know, more luxurious, I guess. But maybe not. I don't know. That's just what I'd always been told is if you want to go skiing somewhere, you go to Breckenridge.
No, it's great. There's a lot of great places out there. I've always viewed Aspen as maybe a little more hoity-toity.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, Joseph, I don't know if you're going to either one, but have fun and be careful out there. Of course, I don't know if has there been an update on the skiers there in the Sierra Nevadas?
I have not seen.
Up near Truckee. And I've been to that place and I've skied there, but they were expecting a lot of snow this week and apparently avalanche. It stranded some skiers. So thoughts and prayers with those. Hopefully folks are able to get to them. Roddy says at Bill Belichick's age, he doesn't want age. He doesn't want any more birthdays. I didn't mean it that way. I meant
It's Bill's Day every day.
yeah. Conrad understood it.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He might not be blowing out candles.
Some people do that. Was the
There
candle wax more, but
There could be icing involved. We don't know.
very likely.
205-834-9450. Thanks for the text. We always appreciate them. As we continue. 30-man front rolls on Jocks. $12:45, 3-man fronts. SEC basketball coming up tonight. Big one for Alabama as they host the Arkansas Razorbacks. Coach Cal, I'm sure that Conrad, he will get a warm reception there from the Crimson Tide faithful inside of Coleman.
Absolutely.
Even if Cal doesn't say anything, he gets a nice warm reception anywhere he goes.
Yeah, but just like you were talking about with Chris, right? He likes that role. He wants to be the villain. He
You don't-
needs to be the villain.
If you want to go back last year, remember the buildup after he left Lexington, how much bad blood was there.
Oh, yeah.
And that Arkansas team who was struggling, they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. They couldn't throw it in the ocean. They go to Rupp, and we're all like, ooh, he is about to get served a big old slice of humble pie. And what does Arkansas go in there and do? Beats the brakes off of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good game tonight. I expect Alabama to win, but I think it'll be really good. What is that line, 4.5?
I was about to say it's between 3.5 and 4.5, and let me see what the over under, because we were talking about it yesterday, but I think it may have even gone up a little bit because it was in the 180s. Let me see here. Ooh, 184.5 is what I'm looking at. So that's a 93 to 92 game to cover. Whew.
It's a lot.
It's gonna be a track meet tonight.
Yep. So Alabama and Arkansas, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Ole Miss at Texas A&M, and Rocco detailed it as far as Bucky and Texas A&M and their resume. But what he said is Texas A&M loses this game tonight, they're out of the tournament come Friday.
It's just crazy how quickly, 2 weeks can essentially completely derail your season, because 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, they're right at the top there with Florida, and, it's paper tiger conversation. That's what they are.
Oklahoma is at Tennessee, 6 o'clock on ESPN2. That's a game that Brian Edwards likes the total on. He actually likes the total. If I remember correctly, it was over 149.5. Number 19, Vanderbilt at Missouri. Big game. Coach Gates in Missouri. 8 o'clock, the tip there from Missouri Arena. Vanderbilt, a 3.5-point favorite on the road. Missouri, remember, much better at home. And then Auburn, I believe, is a must-win. They take on Mississippi State. Hubbard, league's leading scorer. 8 o'clock on ESPN2. It is believed that Keyshawn Hall will be back on the floor for the Tigers. Currently, Auburn around a 5.5-point favorite, depending on where you see it. Got to win that game.
Yeah, Rocco said it, right? Between, the games you don't have against Kentucky and Alabama, you got Oklahoma, you got Mississippi State, you got LSU, you got Ole Miss. You got to go at least 3-1 in those games, and certainly 4-0 would likely cement you in the NCAA tournament, but starts tonight.
Yeah, it does. And it starts this afternoon, Pat, when it comes to USA men's hockey.
Yes, they're taking on Sweden. U.S. is a 1.5 goal favorite against the Swedes, and we'll see if the Americans can continue on and hopefully get that gold medal matchup. We'll have the women tomorrow. Actually, they'll probably be almost done with the first period tomorrow during this time frame, as they will be taking on Canada for the gold medal. The United States today won 3 medals already, and they won the gold, silver, and a bronze this morning. So it's a big morning over in Italy. Only a couple days left in the competition, and then we'll have to wait till 2028, Los Angeles, the Summer Olympics.
Trying to remember, what was our total medal count that we had? Do we remember in the 2022s?
Is it better than what we're at right now?
We had 25 total.
Oh, yeah. We're man, that's Norway territory right there.
Yeah, the last one you had Norway with 37. They finished with 37, 16 of them gold. Then you had Germany behind them, Canada behind them, and the United States behind Canada.
Okay, so we have 24 right
The
now.
United States was behind Canada 4 years ago in the Winter Olympics.
Mhm.
Really?
Yep.
Canada's not had a very good Olympics
Now,
this year.
of Canada's 26 medals that they had, Pat, 14 of them were bronze. As opposed to the United States, we had 25 total medals, 7 bronze. Canadians, right?
least
Slipping in.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly not third.
Yep. But the Olympics in Beijing, Norway, that was a record-breaking 37 total medals. So United States, we're doing
So
pretty
Norway's a dynasty now, like between the last 2 Olympics? Is that what we're getting at here?
Well, Norway's won the most Winter Olympic medals ever.
Okay, so they are a dynasty.
Yes.
Look at those kids. They just look like they're made for the snow. Don't they?
Yeah. I would say Norway, yeah.
Do all of them have straight hair?
I've never thought of it that
They
way.
do look.
They all have straight hair.
It's similar. Yeah.
You can't find a curl in the bunch.
Maybe that's the secret.
Maybe that's what we do.
Maybe that makes them more aerodynamic in all the snow sports. There's a reason for it, I'm sure. They have something figured out.
Something about the air over there. Maybe it's the shampoo.
Maybe it's the water.
Maybe it's the shampoo.
They're still using that old Listerine over there.
That's the stuff you get from seals.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that.
Mm.
Text line is open 205-834-9450. Steve says, don't forget there's more summer sports than winter sports. Oh, I haven't forgotten. Trust me when I'm trying to figure out what half of these events are. Like, is this an exhibition or is this actually competition? No, they actually compete.
See, if they have curling in the Winter Olympics, why don't they have shuffleboard in the Summer Olympics? I mean, it's basically the same sport.
It's not.
Well, one's for
Well,
retired people at the beach.
Yeah, but the retired people at the beach aren't running down there and scrubbing a spot.
I feel like we could make some tweaks to shuffleboard and make it an Olympic sport. I don't think it'd be that hard.
Oh. Hearing Thunderstruck made me reminisce on the Matt McLaren show. Do you guys still keep up? We talked to Matt. We talked to him not long ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's doing good.
Man, I can't clean them up enough. Really good ones, though. 205-834-9450. Thanks for chiming in each and every day here on the show.
That was quick.
Yeah. Not going to even attempt it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it at all.
Sometimes the text I guess there's such a thing as too good of a text.
I think it's interesting how Vegas is so dialed into this hockey and how they absolutely knew that the Canadians were going to come back.
Well, you still won, though.
I did.
Yeah, so
You
Pat's
got
happy.
a good time.
Mm-hmm. What do you got? Affordable. Because it was stupid there for a little while. Minus 200. No thanks. Too rich.
You pick up a couple grand?
Mm-hmm. I did.
That's nice.
Called my broker during the break. Moving some stuff around. Looking at some property in the Gulf of America. Looking to buy out Mike Griffith's place.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to get next door, but you're going to just buy it out.
No, I'm just going to buy him out.
That'd be good.
Because he's already established. He's got a good lot.
Yeah.
Or buy the property right in front of his where you can't see the beach anymore.
Yes.
That's the strategy right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, my goodness. We got basketball tonight in the Southeastern Conference. It's going to start at 6 o'clock as Alabama is hosting Arkansas. You can hear Auburn right here on Jocks starting at 8 o'clock. Pre-game show obviously starts 30 minutes beforehand, but you can hear the Auburn Tigers take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Meanwhile, it is an early tip in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, the city that birthed our nation. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, will be the site as the Temple Owls, one of 17 teams in the American Conference that goes by the name Owls, will be hosting the UAB Blazers.
Hopefully AK didn't get treated to what we got treated to outside of our hotel when we were in Philly.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
I don't think
Or
AK would
fortunate
handle
for
that
some.
very well.
Or fortunate to some people.
Not me and that poor old woman.
No, that was the Lowe's Hotel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the Lowe's Home Building Center. This was, yeah.
Always think of Philly now.
Just can't get that out of your mind. can you?
No.
It's a city of brotherly love.
It's about love.
Yeah.
That's right.
I erased that from my memory for about a year until you kept bringing it up.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't do that at all.
Never look at a pogo stick the same.
There it is.
Yeah.
Conrad, it was awful.
I've
It was awful.
I've heard the description. I'm glad I didn't have to see it with my own eyeballs.
Like ready for it,
Yeah.
it would have been terrible. Not ready for it, almost stopped my heart.
Shocking.
No. I had third-degree burns all over my face from the coffee.
Would you call it an impressive feat of athleticism?
You call that athleticism? Sure.
Hey, one more hour to go.
Yeah, just that.